The first item on the agenda are the minutes from last month. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Yes. Anybody see anything that needs to be corrected in the minutes? I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from September 14th as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. So all those in favor, please say aye. 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 Anyone opposed?
No, abstain.
I also abstain.
So moved. We have in front of us here, we have 3 requests that were received prior to last month. Those were for the American Red Cross, the Child and Family Services, and Genesis. And we now have requests for most of the other outside agencies who request from us. I've asked Joanna to add to the committee info sheet, third column that shows the amount granted, because the 2 columns here show the amount requested last year and the amount requested this year, but we did not necessarily fund them in those dollar amounts. So I've asked her to add that additional column in there so it'll make things a little bit clearer as to what our actions were.
I think one other concern that I have, Tony, too, from last year, and was the first time I sat through listening to all the outside agencies, is I think it would be nice if the person who sends in the information in the letter and fills out the financial is also the same person that's here making the presentation, because we had that happen on a couple of occasions last year. It was a different individual, and the information, when we went off that financial sheet that there was given, that person had no idea what we were even talking about. I remember it was a lady, and there was another lady that actually ran, and I can't remember which one it was, but there was a lady that made the came in to make the presentation, but she was not the one that filled out the information, and we had a lot of questions that she could not answer. So it'd be nice if we could, in all facets, be able to get the same individual who fills out the request and the financial information to have that person here.
I think that's an excellent idea.
I can't remember what
Or at least
agency, but it was one of the agencies that was here, and it was a lady, and there was another lady that was the actual...
Didn't we ask them to answer questions or get back to us with information?
I know, and I don't know...
I can't remember if it
But by
was...
the time we got the information...
was one of them, and the blind...
I was going to say, wasn't it New Hampshire Association for the Blind? I couldn't remember
There
those.
was a lady, but I remember she had no... She was a nice lady, but she just didn't have any of the information.
Right, we'll have to get back to you on
Yeah,
that.
and by the time she got back to us, especially if we're going to try to vote on it the same night, it would make it...
In cases like that, we'll...
I know, but by the time she got back to us, we'd forgotten all about half the questions that we'd
Right.
been asking them. Didn't get answered.
Can you make that additional request of these, that whoever's prepared them, or at least that they know for sure when they come, what's in their financials?
Makes them knowledgeable, yeah. At least.
Looking at this, discussing this with Joanna, there were a couple of things that need to be just mentioned. With the Island Concert Series, Alan Hartwell passed away, and so there will be, his daughter is taking over. Is that her
Chris
here?
Meinholz is actually, I think, going to be, Chris Meinholz is, I think, going to be the one probably.
This request is by Allison Hartwell, isn't it?
He's going to be the go-to person
Yeah.
in Northfield. She actually lives in Florida, but she's going to be running it from Florida, gathering the, actually acquiring the bands and so on from there, but Chris will be running it up here.
And who was that again?
Chris Meinholz.
And this is their 20th year,
Oh.
so they're going to honor them.
I don't think he has a firm idea of what they're going to be asking for. Spoke with him the other day.
Right.
Right now, it's proposed at the 2,000 that it was in years past.
They actually want to start a little earlier with the bands because of the 20th year and bring back the best of the 20 years. But also because there were some bands last year that were canceled, the money was left. It was returned back to the towns.
Was returned, they didn't keep that on hand, they returned that money.
Does Northfield do the same? Do they appropriate money for that, or?
Oh, they
Is it just
appropriate
still-
money, yes. They
do for
They
them?
both, right, we both do.
Yeah, it says here, town of Tilton and Northfield is their funding sources, two of their funding sources.
And what was returned back, do you know?
It was 600 and something. I don't know offhand exact amount.
I think Chris said they had, I thought you said they had three, was it 3 weekends, 3 nights that were canceled?
There were, the last 3 were, but I think there's 4 total. And they couldn't reschedule them.
During our monsoon season.
Yeah. So that was one, and then the other note is, I read in the paper that Martha Douglas is retiring from the Youth Assistance Program. So I know that, is it Gail? Gail? Dawn.
Stepped up.
Will be taking over. But that will definitely be something that we'll need to look at. I know that Scott, you had wanted.
Yeah, Brian Loans, who's from Belknap County, he said that he would be willing to come in and just present to us what they provide from the county level, so that we'll know when we're sitting in. I think it's just informative for the committee to hear what's available at the county level. So whenever we want to set him up, I told him it'd be on a Wednesday night. He had no problem with that.
Okay.
Also Thursday, we had a formal request, but we asked them to put it in writing. Harold Harbour from the American Legion is going to, they have designed a monument to honor all of the wars after World War II. Korea on up to Afghanistan. And the total price on that is $6,200 complete for the monument. It will be placed by the flagpole in front of the two, in between the two bushes where the flagpole is over Cannon Bridge. And so they've asked Northfield and Tilton to contribute. Right on the other side of Cannon Bridge to the right.
Right there, the flag.
They also said they were going to also raise funds, correct?
They'll do a fundraiser.
They're going to make a formal request to the Budget
We
Committee?
told them to make it in writing so that it would come before you folks.
You know how much they're going to be asking for?
They didn't give us a definitive amount as selectmen, how much that they would be asking for at the town. It was what we could give. And then they are pursuing fund to raise the rest of the funds that we don't get.
You say 6,200, Pat?
6,200 was the total cost to installed, to have it happen.
It's in granite.
So we asked him to give us a written letter to ask us to appropriate funds.
We had discussed just last month that, we need to have requests in by this time, and we had discussed quite vehemently that, we would not consider requests that weren't in on time, and this wouldn't be a request that's in on time. I'm willing to make exceptions for this, but he really should get that into us by next week, and he should really fill out a formal Budget Committee request form if he wants to be considered as part of our budget. And that's just, anybody else, comes in front of us.
He did come before us last week. I probably was negligible in telling him to sit down and write it right then and there, because then we would have had it. But
And this would be a one-time request, you think?
one time, and then it's finished. It's built, complete.
Do you have the
And they'll
drawings
just
of that?
maintain on putting the new names on, or what will they do with that?
There are no name.
No name, oh, it's just, okay.
I might have a picture.
Understood then.
I think it's a wonderful idea, but, we really...
No, we have
We're
our
gonna-
protocol, we have to stick with it.
And where this is a one-time request, I'm willing to work with it, but... Okay.
It's downstairs in my selectman folder. He did bring in a picture.
We do not have any requests from the New Hampshire Association for the Blind. Says that it's supposed to be in on Friday. We know that we've had them come in the past, and I would suggest that they come in again this time around. But if that request is not in by Friday, I have to put that on a do not consider list immediately.
Let me just tell you that they were proactive in contacting me. They emailed me probably about a week or so ago, let me know that the person was going to be on vacation, and stated that they believed it would be in either tonight, tomorrow, or Friday. This morning she contacted me again by email and told me that she was dropping it in the mail and that I should have it Friday.
Okay. That's good. So that really completes just about everybody, but the Board of Selectmen, and we discussed last week that the selectmen would have the budget in and be ready to be addressed. So we had it in order so that we could address it in November. Last year, we did the town budget review on December 8th. Pat, you said that you had made requests of the department heads to get it in already, so you folks have already been, the selectmen have already been working with the...
Have highway is finished, PD is about 95% finished. Joyce is working on Town Hall, so it's, we need to figure out what, as far as maintenance is going to be done. Some issues that need to be taken care of, whether it's going to be done in a budget or done at warrant article. So we're almost there.
Okay, so you'll have no problem getting it in to us in November so that we can have it all set up. Good. Okay. We have scheduled to come in next week to review outside agencies as we have done in the past. Heather from the Welfare Office to give us a review as to which of these outside agencies that deal with those types of needs worked for the town or don't work for the town. Well, we've had her come in, I think, almost as long as I've been on the Budget Committee here, and it's always been a good resource, and it's always nice to know. And it's been, you know, some of us hear the similar type of items every year that we're here, but for those who are not here the previous year, who have not heard what she has to say about these outside vendors, it's always much needed information because she's the one that deals with them on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, Joe?
When would that be, next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, the 19th. Yep, 7 o'clock. All right. After that time, we'll be able to determine more if we need to see somebody other than what we normally have come in front of us to see. There are a couple of agencies that we have come in every year. Did we get, actually, I didn't notice it on here, have we gotten the request from the library?
Yeah.
Yes.
We did have a request from the
19, too.
library, but I think, I don't think we had a request from Old Home Day. I think that was carried over from last year. I know that at one point I had a problem with their address, so I'll follow up on that and see if they, what's going on.
Okay.
How did the amount then go down $500?
I think that was from last year when they didn't do the fireworks, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, did we reduce it
The
down?
year before that, they had extra money, remember, and they requested only the 2,000 because they had extra from the fall.
Okay, so-
Previous year. Because the fireworks didn't go off the previous year.
So the amount that's requested here wasn't the amount that last year, or no?
I think that I didn't change it from last year's spreadsheet.
Okay.
I do know that Sally Robert is in the hospital recently, so I think that may contribute to you not getting a request.
I thought, didn't Tony come in? Was it Tony that came in? Tony Cross came in last year for that, for the Old Home Day? I don't remember right.
Sally writes it up, though.
Okay, so we don't have that request either?
I don't think so. If we have it, it's in your binders, but I'm thinking it's not.
I didn't see it.
I don't see it.
Then we don't have it, and I apologize because that was my error.
Can you touch base with her and just...
Absolutely.
Again, you know, I'm willing to give this, you know, extension to get these people that we know, especially something like that we know provides a very well-attended event here for the two towns. And it's not something that I would exclude.
I will contact her tomorrow and let you know what happens by email.
Okay, thank you.
If you can't get her, you might try calling Peg Shepherd.
Finish if you want an email address. I can record all this. Okay, thank you.
All right. Is Birch Hill
It's just
It's
the
the same.
contract and
contract? Okay,
And last year it was down by 500.
yeah.
we had two of these. What, the community action?
There's a community action for the program itself, and then there's a separate request for the Winnie Trail system.
Winnie Transit.
Winnie Transit,
Is that
that's the bus. Yeah.
Is that
Sorry, I got that on the mind, I got the tickets on me, you know?
Okay, so this is the transit one.
That is run through CAP, though?
Yes, it is.
It's on their letterheads.
But they're two different directors,
Ralph
so that's
Littlefield
why I
and-
think,
Ralph Littlefield is the head director.
Yeah, Ralph
Yeah.
Littlefield's the guy that oversees the whole thing.
yeah.
That's where I've
But
heard.
you've
Yeah,
got
'cause Gail
two
was down here.
assistants. One for the Gail Lyman's reports to, and the other one for the transit. And she's new this year, and she's gotten some federal funding, and I believe this is from matching funds. That's why they're requesting it.
And what are they trying to reestablish, that bus from Laconia and around?
The state decreased their funding so that they have to find their matching funds somewhere else in order to gain the federal funding. Yeah, if they don't, they'll decrease the services for the transit.
But I do think they plan to add some, to increase it somewhat.
We'll have
Is this
them,
the same, sorry, Tony, is this the same one that got decreased the last year or so? Same size?
Yes.
There's two buses. There's a Winnipesaukee Transit Authority, and then there's the rural transportation, which is the elderly and disabled. Both run by the same people. One is funded by some funding is funded by the American Elders Act, which is different funding. The other one has state funding and federal funding. And they've created an advisory board, which you'll all hear when she comes. They created an advisory board in which to look at ways in which we can raise funds and look at different grant monies, wrapping the bus in with advertising in order to cut the costs down. This is the first year that in 2012, which is what the year they're in, the state has cut the funding. So now they have to hurry up and look for the matching funding now. They're in a program to look elsewhere for funding.
even though they wouldn't, if we grant them funding, they wouldn't receive it from us until March, the next after town meeting.
Which is when they need it. 2011.
Alrighty. Well, shall we start scheduling here? Is there anything else on these requests that anybody wants to discuss before we do that, before we start?
Would it be prudent on our part to have come in, hopefully people from CAT come in on the same night then?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
We have, last year, I'm just going to run through my calendar here. See if I can pick out the stuff that's important versus the stuff that's not. We had Genesis, CAP, and youth assistants come in all together, and we had the whole Memorial Library, as well as the Rec Council come in. We had Lakes Region Planning Commission come in. Now, we didn't fund them last year, did we? Or is it? Isn't the planning, we did?
The Planning Commission, we funded.
Yeah, we funded
that,
Yeah, we
That was
fund them.
We funded,
public
we
access.
also had that
It's public
$13,000
access.
warrant article where they were going to finish on the impact fees.
Yeah. So, New Beginnings and the Red Cross were in. The Visiting Nurse Association, Child and Family Services, Tilton Main Street. We had Old Home Day, the Sewer Commission, and Lockmere come in all together. They'll want an extension. They always do. And that pretty much covers everybody that we had come in.
So what dates do we have available on the calendar this year?
Right now, the only thing that we have, and this is a week earlier than we had done it last year, is we have, next week, we have Heather coming in,
That's October what then?
19th. We need to get some of these. We need to have Genesis come in. How about on the 26th? We have the CAP program come in for both the CAP and the Winnie Transit.
Just so you know, I'm going to be going both the 19th and the 26th. That changes, I'll be here, but otherwise.
Okay. In November, there will be no meeting on the 23rd. All right. How about on the 2nd of November, we have Genesis come in?
Did we fund them last year?
No, we did not.
Should we, just as a food for thought, should we bring in the agencies that we funded first this year from last year before we bring in somebody that we didn't fund? If we're going to make a determination on who, from the minutes, I wasn't here the last meeting, but from reading the minutes, it stated that we were going to vote the same night that we have the people. We're going to take a vote on whether we're going to approve them or not.
We're going to try, so why not do them?
So should we bring in the agencies I mean, I know CAP's coming in, we funded part of them last year, we didn't fund this new Winnisquam Transit, but
Right.
that's just food for thought. I was just wondering if we should do that first, so that we go over the ones that we funded last year, before we bring somebody in that we didn't fund.
Well,
I don't think we funded the Genesis for a couple of years, have we?
oh, we haven't funded them at all. In, not
Good 8
in-
years
probably
or
not
so.
in- Yeah, it's been more than 5
They're
years.
the ones that had the huge bank account, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Isn't that one the one, John?
Yeah.
They still do collect this.
Yep.
I did put them last.
All right, well, let's do this. Why don't we look through this calendar and see if we even need to bring, if we want to bring people in.
You got cap on that.
At some point, Genesis,
I mean, if their portfolio, in my opinion, if their portfolio looks like it did last year, which they had, I can't remember, over $1 million or something in an account, in this economy, in this time and age, I think they should be using some of that money, as opposed to going through taxation and raising more money for them.
why don't we give them until the end of November into December. We'll just put them aside for right now, and after we hear from Heather, if we decide that they've done something that they need.
Okay.
It's my understanding that most of their services go to the Laconia residents and not Tilton.
Yeah.
So, I had made notes of that, and that also, when they do give services, it ends up tying up our police department for an exorbitant amount of time, waiting for them to respond. So I think there's some issues with them.
Yeah, because basically they're asking for it for their emergency services, but Heather has not been.
No, and that's the only reason I said I'd rather not bring them in up front and waste our energy on
Okay.
somebody we haven't funded.
Do we know if there's anything new with the Lakes Region Planning Commission?
Sandy?
Same?
Anything new?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Right. So,
I was just looking to the paperwork.
The request is down, I said.
I mean, they've been quite active with the town this year, between our Brownsfield and working with the planning board and stuff, so I mean, it's not like, they haven't been around.
They work on a 10-year plan as well for gas and the train.
yeah. Well, I'm not saying that we wouldn't fund them, but my question is did we want them to come in?
I would say yes. I mean, they're into a lot of things, and I mean.
It's good to know what they're up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way you know what new programs are coming.
They've been
up.
invaluable in the planning board.
Great.
Getting involved.
Well, how about if we put them in on the 2nd then, November 2nd?
Okay.
The Island Concert Series, where this is going to be changing, and they're going to be probably, there's a likelihood that they're going to change their requested amount. I mean, that's not what they have on the paperwork here, but if there is that, then maybe we should plan on having them come in at some point. I don't know if I'd want to, if they're still working on details on trying to figure out some of this stuff, we might want to put them off for a little while before we have them come in.
So the idea is what you said, Pat, was they're going to extend their season?
They're going to try to extend their season and bring in the best of the 3 years, the top bands.
Okay.
And so she has most of them scheduled now. We actually talked to Allison when she was up here.
Okay. Well, it
One
sounds
thing
like
I'd like to have when we do bring them in, I'd like to have the amount that they did not take out of the fund last year, so we have a clear understanding on that too.
What they have left over.
What they did not take this year, Pat.
You know, what they returned, whatever.
Whatever they returned or whatever, we could get that amount. I think that's respectful on their part, because they did the honest thing, which gave the money back where they didn't use it, you know.
How about if we see if we can get them to come in on November 16th?
It would be nice to have them, because I don't think people realize how much it actually costs to have the bands and run the series, concert series. And we put in 2,000, and Northfield puts in 2,000, and then they fundraise the rest.
Right, with the banks and such,
Right,
we've seen them
right.
all.
Sponsors.
November 16th?
Okay. And I'd like to put Old Home Day in there with them.
Okay.
The Park Cemetery Association is level funded from last year. We didn't change their request, it was just... The Hall Memorial Library and the rec, we normally have them come in together, or at least on the same night. We want to split them up.
I don't think it matters, does it?
Not really. Yeah. How about if we put the Hall Memorial Library in there with Lakes Region Planning?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we put the Rec Council, the Island Concert Series and the Old Home Day are normally pretty quick.
Yeah.
So we could probably put the Rec Council in there with them.
16.
Did we actually have anybody come in from the Red Cross last year?
Yeah.
Somebody
Yep.
did
Yeah.
come in.
Yep, they did.
Because there was an issue about whether they paid for someone to stay at the hotel out here at exit 20, I think was brought up. Wasn't that the
We
issue?
used them 3 or 4 times last year.
But was it last year, though, there was a question about the year before, them not paying for somebody?
For a 3-night stay when the fire victims. And they got back to us with it on there.
On the 9th, how about if we get the visiting nurse and the Child and Family Services in here? Some of these smaller agencies that we have, what we have left is the Park Cemetery Association.
Did we actually have them in?
Yeah, Liza came in,
She did?
yeah, yeah, but
that's
I
a
don't,
straight-
that's a straightforward, and that's what I'm asking, do we really need them to come in? I don't.
No, because if they go belly up, the town has to take it over.
Yeah,
Because of
exactly.
RSA, so the last thing
Exactly,
we want to
so-
do is have to take care of that.
Right, so we won't,
Yeah.
worry about scheduling them to come in here.
No.
We need to have Birch Hill Kennels.
And that's
We
the
didn't
other
have it
one.
last year, we did not, I don't believe had.
Contract.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
contract.
Included the contract in there, so.
I think one of the concerns we asked last year was that we paid it all up front. If something happened to them, they went belly up, we'd be stuck. I guess that was the concern we had.
Right.
The money was paid out up front. If I remember right. I believe Tim
We
said
still pay it
that.
out front?
Yeah. I remember Tim stating that last
They
year.
didn't want to go with a biannual, a two-payment?
I think it was all paid up front, because that was one of the questions. Yeah.
It'd be nice to,
We could ask them that.
Yeah, I mean, they, from what I understand, they do the job.
Right. Yeah, it's there. They do
other
it.
But I think the
And they-
concern,
And they've been doing it for,
the only
4
concern I
years.
had is if they went out of business, then you paid them all up front, you wouldn't have any money to go anywhere
Right.
else to get the service. That's
Well-
the question.
We'll just
yeah,
have to
before we were
have a
going up
vote
to
of confidence
Meredith,
that they're
which
going to survive the
meant,
year.
police car driving all the way up to Meredith and back. Or
right,
Paid on a
exactly.
quarter, you don't get stuck for the whole.
Yeah.
For some reason, they were always going up
No,
to
no.
Meredith.
Okay.
Yeah. It was-
Okay. How about if we have youth assistance and on the 30th of November? And would it be wise to have the county in at the same time?
We can, it's up to you, whatever you want.
Or have them come in afterwards? Or have the youth assistants come in, have the county come in?
And if you're gonna, if you're gonna take a vote on it that evening,
Yeah, we're gonna have to know what they provide.
Right.
See.
Yeah,
they do provide a different service, but
yeah,
you need to hear that.
right.
So, a different time, I mean, hear one at such and such a time.
Right,
and then hear them
exactly.
after
I think it'd be
that.
nice to do it the same night myself.
Okay, and what was the gentleman's name?
Brian Loans,
And did you give contact information to Joanna? Did you have contact information? Can you make sure that she
yeah, I'll make sure she gets it.
gets that?
He's with Belknap County.
Date?
On the 30th. Okay. That leaves us New Beginnings, the Red Cross, CASA. CASA is something that we have, the court-appointed special advocates that we have funded for years now, that at the $500 level. It's another one of those that, I don't think, we don't always have them come in. Is there anybody who feels strongly that they would want to have them come before us? Or do you want to have a chance to look at the information and we can make that decision later?
You should take a look at the information
See if anything
and
is...
see what welfare says.
Okay, we'll hold off on that.
Yes.
What else did we have here?
New Beginnings.
Oh, there.
New Beginnings and the Red Cross and the New Hampshire Association for the Blind. Those should all be fairly,
Them all the same date.
yep, we'll put them all on December 7th.
So last year, the Red Cross got $16.57, and this year they're asking for $15.56.90.
Reduction.
Excellent.
Well, that's not what they got, that's what they asked for.
Right, right. Did you say CASA on 12.7 as well?
Yeah,
Gave
no, not
Red
CASA.
Cross $500.
Oh,
Right,
We gave him 500, didn't we, last year?
Yeah.
yeah,
Cross.
it's been, we
Because there
level
was that
funded them.
discrepancy about, I remember about something about them not paying for a hotel or something for a fire victim.
I think,
They well earned their money last year.
No, but the year before, I think it was what we were talking about.
yeah, we level funded them, is what we had done, because they've been 500 for years, that we,
And you did New Hampshire Blind at 500.
New Beginnings, Red Cross. That leaves us with the three biggies. The town, which encompasses all town departments, the administration, the PD, the highway. So that'll be all one night. And then the Lockmere sewer and the Lockmere Village District and the sewer.
I think that you're forgetting one here, though.
Where?
The Park Commission, their second.
Is the Park Commission, is it?
They would be under the, they would be on their own as far as their budget.
Where are they? Oh, they're not?
You want to list them separate? Joanna? Sure. Park? Okay. Right. Okay. All right. We do. All right, if we have the town come in on the 14th, and then the Lockmere District and the sewer come in on the 21st. With the Lockmere Village District, mostly we just, we're just a pass-through. So it's basically, they just come in and we just sign, are signing off on their budget because it's all sewer, it's all user paid for it. Okay. The week of the 28th is the week between Christmas and New Year's. So at this time...
It's their date. Emergency date.
It's an emergency date, and I don't even know if I'll be in town for that date, so... I'm hoping not. So we're going to wait until after we hear from Heather as to whether we need to have Genesis come before us and whether we feel like we need to have CASA come before us. Is there anything that anybody that I missed? Anybody else? I should say anybody else that I missed.
You're not asking them to come in?
That's correct.
Let's see.
Right. That ought to give us a chance to. If we need anything, we also will have time in January if we need to reschedule, or we have a snowstorm or when we had plenty of that added to our woes last year, too, if I'm thinking now. So, we can hope for better weather.
No snow this year.
Yeah.
Been called off.
Thank you.
On account of the budget.
Yeah, at least until after that, and after, after December, that would be really good. Okay, so I'm going to just review these one more time, starting with where we are now. Next week, we will only have Heather come in to give us a breakdown at that point. If there's anybody else that we feel that we need to schedule, or if between now and then there were any scheduling conflicts with any of these other people that Joanna has been able to contact to set these meetings up, we'll be able to address it at that time. On the 26th, we're going to have the Community Action Program and the Winnie Transit come in. On the 2nd, the Lakes Region Planning Commission and the Hall Memorial Library. On the 9th, we have the Franklin Visiting Nurse Association, along with Child and Family Services. On the 16th, we have the Island Concert Series, Old Home Day, and the Rec Council. And on the 30th, the Youth Assistance Program, as well as Belknap County. On the 7th of December, New Beginnings, Red Cross, and Association for the Blind. On the 14th, we'll ask the town to present their budget. On the 21st, the Lockmere Village District and the Sewer Commission. The 28th and the 28th of December, and right now the 23rd of November, we do not have any meetings scheduled. If we are in need in January, we will have a new calendar. I don't know if I have January here someplace. Oh, there it is. It was. Okay. Let's see. Last season, we had put out a hearing notice on the third Wednesday in January, and we had the first public hearing on the 26th of January. And then on the 2nd of February, we had a warrant review, and the 9th, we had the warrant articles public hearing. So we should be on schedule to do something very similar, and hopefully not have a huge, any nights when we're here until extremely late trying to bang anything out, because it's what we ended up doing those other couple of weekends in January, if I believe.
Can I ask a question? Mm-hmm. You want us to present our budget to you the first week in November, but we're actually presenting it to you November 14th?
As long as we have it with a couple of weeks beforehand, so that we have a chance to review it before we actually have you in. Okay. I think when we did that, when we put that November 1st date in there last week or last month, Pat, we didn't know exactly when we were going to have you come in.
Okay.
I know I didn't have my calendar last month with me to look at what we had done last year.
I suddenly got nervous because we're not having a meeting on the 27th of October. That would mean we'd have to jump right into on Wednesday, getting a budget to you, but if we could get it to you the 9th, that would be perfect.
Yeah, the 9th, the 9th or the 16th. If you had it to
Yep.
us by the 16th,
Great.
which gives us a month,
We'll shoot for the 9th.
okay? That gives us, I think, plenty of time to spend our weekends reviewing budgets. Woo-hoo. I know, everybody's thrilled. Excellent, that won't be hard to figure out now.
You can have your weekends.
Okay, does anybody have any questions, concerns, more comments in regards to reviewing the requests, scheduling them? Anything? Yeah. I will ask that before we meet with the various entity on a certain night, that whatever paperwork they have provided us, that we've all gone through it, so that we'll be
Asking intelligent
On
questions.
their toes.
be able to ask, yeah, I know. Okay, one more thing before I forget. I have here, much as I had last year, Joanna gave me the financial statements for the Community Action Program and the New Beginnings. Does anybody want to, besides myself, want to take these and spend some quality time with them this week? And
I think we'll refer to the chair to do that for us.
When are they scheduled to come in?
You're just so good at it.
Cap is coming in on the whatever it was there, on the 26th.
26.
Well, not next week, the week after.
I'd like to review them at some point, but I don't want to take them this week because I'm not going to be here next week.
Okay. Alrighty. If you're not going to be here for a certain meeting, and you have questions about anything in the paperwork that was provided, please email Joanna or myself and let us know, and we will get the questions answered.
Excellent.
Okay? All right.
With the parks, is there going to be more of a, we were trying to figure out what the town was going to be doing and what the parks were doing last year, so it was hard because they're on separate dates.
Yeah, there was maintenance issues, and some stuff was in Dennis's budget, if I remember right, and some was in the parks budget.
It would be nice to kind of combine that.
Right, well, actually, glad you said something, because I meant to put them in there, but we didn't.
Do anything with the PD or the highway.
Right, the PD and the highway, I expect them to be in with the town.
Okay.
The only park we have is the island.
The island, right, but the Parks Commission is doing it.
Is there maintenance that's done though, Pat, if I remember right, through Dennis's budget?
Dennis,
Wasn't there something?
well, the parks should all have it under their budget. So if Dennis has to do some maintenance on the park, on the riverfront, painting, which is what he does, painting, if there's a repair that needs to be done to the building itself, then that should be in their budget that they'll prepare, and then he'll draw off of that.
Well, we have, we can either have the parks present before the town on the 14th, or, Lockmere and the sewer are pretty easy. We can have parks come in on the 21st as well.
I think we can do them when the sewer district and the water district, or Lockmere water districts in here.
That's what I would suggest, because the town's going to take a while to go through. It always does, just because we like the town. That's why we're here.
Insinuating we have a lot of hard
Well,
No, there's
line
always,
items.
There is that.
there's, we're
Many
talking
line
about,
items.
3 major departments, the town and the highway, and it takes a while.
Bulk of the money, right?
Yeah, okay, so we'll put the Parks Commission on the 21st. And I don't think that gives us any, too much to do any one night, to look at and review.
The answer to your question on the band was 300 was returned back. We spent 1,700 for the compact big one, which was 950, and the doo-wop for 750. So they returned the 300.
That would be the 21st of December.
Was that 300 or 350?
300.
300.
We paid out 950 and 750.
So, and chat's the same day as the town? Same day?
What's that?
The chat?
Chat, yeah, is part of the town.
The town, yeah.
So, and, okay, I don't think there's anything else.
If anybody sees anything, or they have next week, or any time during the budget season, if you decide that you want to see somebody come in, you've gone through the paperwork, and you decided you want to see, virtual kennels for some reason, then we'll make arrangements to have them come in.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
If we were, I'm interested why we can't pay those kennels like on a quarterly basis. I'm with Scott. I hate paying $5,500 in January for something that maybe in August he's, not going to be there anymore. Would that require him coming in, or how does that work?
What's our contract?
That's
Probably
part
a
of...
selectmen's
We
discussion
negotiate
you
the
should have.
contract with them. We have to sign the contract. It's in that package there.
No, you-
Had the purse strings.
We
Joe.
just renegotiate the
Yeah.
contract with them and say we got biannually or quarterly.
We just provide you the money. You have to set up
I
the
don't want to
agreement.
spend it if I can afford it.
My concern is just as I stated, I don't want to see the town in case somebody goes out of business and the town's already paid forward and you don't have any money to go anywhere else, and we're stuck.
Alrighty. And that takes us through that. Anything else that anybody is about these requests? I need to get them all. Okay, I'll take these two big items with me, as well as the rest of this stuff. And look at you, you already put all your stuff into your folder.
Oh, look at this, I got my little tabs.
There. I'm not quite that efficient yet. I only started.
I just got my book tonight. Can I be forgiven for not having tabs yet?
Yeah.
No problem. Oh, I'm running out.
All right.
Do you need some more tabs?
I got,
These
I just want
all
to,
different colors.
Recycle that.
I have dividers from the dollar store.
All right.
These actually work well.
Next item on the agenda is the financial report review. And
My agenda.
Tim brought up just a few moments ago, comparison, budget versus expenditure comparison as of 9/30. For us.
Did we get a
This-
copy of this, the breakdowns of the PD office supply? I didn't see that.
Breakdown of the PD office supplies. There was, right,
Because we had...
on the front page of your, the chief reviewed the office supplies line for the year and subsequently authorized the change in general ledger account charge for two items previously charged to office supplies. Both are supply-type items, however, the purpose was to outfit the new Ford Expedition The total amount of the move was $398.39, and you will see the move in the detail from office supplies PD number 13 to equipment purchase PD number 660. The chief said that these items are necessary to process police work at the scene. So I don't know if that's detailed, but there should be details within the expenditure report.
What's going on with the town hall janitorial supplies?
Yeah, that's all over the place that those janitorial supplies are. The town hall and then the PD. And
They just under budgeting what?
No, I think it wasn't explained that they hired a company, I think, to come in. Isn't that Pat, the situation then?
Last year, when we had a gentleman doing it, it was a single person, they had it under line 130. What they did this time, under line 385, we hired a contractor to do the cleaning for the PD, Town Hall, Riverfront Park. And you'll see on the details that that has been taken out of 385, and that really should be split out and put under 130 rather than 385.
Under 130? Salary, is that what you're?
Right, it's wages, because they're actually doing the cleaning. It's the cleaning people.
Okay.
And if you see under the supplies, you'll see house cleaning. Those are the people that actually do the cleaning.
So it's just Miss
Right.
Halleck.
So he'll fix it next month.
If you look at current year expenditures, town hall janitorial salary/supply lines comparison, the salary for town hall janitor is only spent at 11%.
Okay.
So there's,
Something amiss.
yeah, so it's basically if you took the amount that's been overspent in the janitorial supplies from the salary line, you still have $1,400 for the next 3 months.
Okay.
Which would cover you for the rest of the...
Right.
Because he drops Riverfront October. It closed.
You want to make copies of it? Just to keep it, it's like the top line, health officer miscellaneous expense. I know that we talked about that before, that on the exception report, that was, overspent, by $2,000. That was the sewer line that needed to be replaced, that we talked about back in June.
Yeah.
But at this point, I was forgetting myself, so I had to go back.
Did we get the money paid back to the town?
It was supposed to be being paid back on a monthly basis, is that right? For the sewer line,
That
the health?
Catherine Dawson, remember she said that sewer line or sewer system she had to put in or whatever it was?
The health officer.
We've gone to a civil... It's going out to a civil...
Right, there's no, nothing, we know that it needed to get done.
Yeah.
Right. But we were just wondering, because we were
We
told,
were
Joe...
trying to check the finances.
It becomes lean.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about it later.
It's,
There is no choice in the matter.
Thank you. Okay. And we'll have to explain that, the two balances.
It's fine, I understand.
Tony? I have a couple of concerns and questions.
Okay.
Back in August, I had asked the chief when he was in front of us about his gasoline line, which was spent at 73% at the time. And looking at this, I guess I'm kind of, this says, what Tim just gave us is year-to-date as of 9/30, but actually, that gasoline line is only expended out through August 30th. That's the last check he's cut, was through August, and we're already 101% we're overspent on that line budget in 8 months. And that's less than a month after I asked the chief if he was going to be okay, and he stated he was going to be okay in our minutes. That he had had most of the summer activity, it was going to be winding down, so on and so forth. I think, as a budget member, what I'd like to see, instead of just dollar numbers, I'd like to see the amount of gallons we're using also. Because I know, sitting where I sit, that the gas has gone down from 361 to 329 over to Northfield where we pay. So it's dropped substantially, but we're still, I mean, he's got 4 months to put into his budget. He's overexpended himself in 8 months for a 12-month budget. He's got 4 months and he's going to be way over. I mean, he's expended more than the $24,000 in 8 months. And, I mean, September bill's not here. I mean, we've already got September behind us. September's bill not here. We got October, November, and December to go through.
And the thing is, gas prices have fallen since we set the budget.
And I think we used I think it was $3.25 a gallon or something we were using as an estimate. So I'm concerned of how many gallons of fuel they're using compared to what we're spending in dollars, because I think we're using way more gallons we should have. We burned almost 1,000 gallons in August, it says here, looking at the detail on page 19. And I just, that's way over. To go over your gas fuel line, I look at Dennis's fuel line, he's at 66% through the same time period. And he had I would say, probably an above average amount of snow removal last year. We had a fairly good winter. I'm looking at that 938 gallons of fuel. And then 38 gallons, so you put that together and you get 976 gallons of fuel. Something was paid on a PD detail. I guess they charge against it or something.
I guess that was something like that.
That's at 361.
I'm even concerned about the vehicle maintenance
Well, that was going to be my...
because
Mileage gone
if
up.
you remember, when we discussed the vehicles, they have a lot of vehicles that are going to be retiring, are going to have to retire soon. They bought a whole bunch, I think, in, 2008? And they have an unbelievable number of miles from that meeting we had with them before.
Yeah,
And they're already running into, they're way over 124% of their maintenance budget already.
Well, we talked I'll bring this up, we talked about the mileage. If you go down through what we were just given tonight with the service repairs by the highway department, you look at the mileage, going down through the first car, CV04A, that's had 2,600 miles put on it this year. The 05, or the CVO car 4B has had 5,000 miles put on it. Car 5 has had 3,000. Car 6A has had 3,000. Car 6B has had 18,000. Car 6C has had 13,000. Car 6D has had 12,000. And car 10, the newest one we have, has had 27,000. So how are you rotating cars if the mileage is like that?
The newest car, meaning this year?
No, the new car this year has 3,300 miles according to this, the SUV this year, but the car we bought last year, the newest sedan we bought, has had 27,000 miles.
Put on
And the year
this year?
before, we had it for just from April on, and they put 24,000. They've already put 27,000 on it this year, and we're only through 9 months.
And that new car that they've got 33 on, that's what, 2 months old? Is it?
I question whether cars are being rotated or not. And if they are, I don't know what kind of rotation I guess they're using.
There's still a lot of miles to do, though. It's supposed to be used.
Supervisors using.
That's a lot of mileage for a supervisor, though, Pat.
I think so, too.
3,300 miles.
There is.
I don't disagree.
You know, I look at the mileage and I look at the gas, and I'm just wondering where we're going. Because, you know, he's overexpended in 8 months, a 12-month budget, and gas has dropped. And we don't have, you know, we don't have last month.
I mean, this is, the vehicle uses, it's definitely a concern. The problem that we purchased all of those vehicles all at once, and they've all got, you know, the high mileage on them.
95 to 100,000.
We've got, you know, the chief had said that a lifetime is between 130 and 140,000 miles. And, you know, we've got 8 cars out of what we have that are there. You know, that are right there on that cusp.
But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 cars in our fleet. We haven't put, between all of them, we haven't put 11, 13, 14,000 miles on all 4 cars this year. You take all 4 of those cars, we haven't put 14,000 miles on all of them combined. But yet we've got 27,000 on the newest sedan we have in the same time frame. I mean, twice as much on one car as we have put on 4 other cars. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't even make sense with the 6B and 6C, which are our frontline cruisers. I mean, one has 13,000, one has 18,000, but yet we have 27,000 on 10, and the chief said that they were rotating them. They were rotating the cars.
Well, he might think they're rotating.
Yeah.
They're not.
No.
I just don't know how you're rotating cars to get that discrepancy in your mileage.
Rotating drivers.
That's what it sounds like to me. It's not rotating cars, it's...
From their driver, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to cost the town money.
Oh, yes,
This is
of course.
gonna cost the
We're
town
running on the
huge
edge of
money.
a cliff here, is what we're running with our fleet. You can see it. But I just think that the gas that's being used is crazy. I mean, are the cars running all the time, from the time they get on shift to the time they end? And what's the reason for that, I wonder?
I know.
They need to
I
make
ask
sure that they're being
question every
rotated.
time I see them. We all ask that question.
Well, I know.
Rotating the vehicles, and why are you
I mean,
driving?
what if they don't have gas to put
Who's
in the tank?
responsible for managing the rotation of the vehicles? Isn't that the chief's
That would be the
responsibility?
chief of police.
Lieutenant.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because I asked him if he was going to be all right on his gas
I
when
think
he
I
was
was
in front
sitting
of us.
here that day.
And he said he thought he'd be fine because his exact quote was that most of their traffic is done in the summer, and that was winding down, and they'd be fine.
Well, I can't tell you, living on Main Street on a hill, I can tell when a police car goes by, lights on or not. I hear it. I mean, they are stamping on that gas.
They drive them like somebody else is paying.
Like they
for the
stole it.
gas.
Well, there it is.
Like they stole it, and somebody else is paying for the gas. And we always laugh, say, oh, that was a police car. And you look out the, yep, it was. And they're usually in pairs. So, you know,
Riding a bicycle, but maybe they'll understand.
maybe we could get a Prius or something.
Hey, I have an idea. You know, we've always said no
less
to the
desirable.
motorcycles. I say, let's get them some motorcycles for the winter.
With studded
Be
tires.
pretty much guarantee low mileage.
But they all seem to be going from, like, the police station up that way. So maybe it's better planning on where, have the guys hang out the other end of town or something.
They come up my street most
Always
nights.
wanted to end.
Sorry.
Well, see, they
Yeah,
put one
usually
in.
around midnight.
Yeah,
In the parking lot.
no, not to micromanage them, but
So now
I'm
they're
not trying to
reading-
micromanage, I'm
But-
just saying I
but
don't
to
think
say-
there's management done on the rotation of the cars, nor is there anyone with oversight watching what they're spending in fuel.
Which
What they're-
lieutenant is in charge of that?
There's two lieutenants.
I know, but which is
They
in
overlap
charge of-
each other.
Okay.
They're both in charge, Jane.
All right. Of the rotation?
I mean, I don't know what he's going to present as far as for cruisers this year, but I mean, it's, you know, I know the way the money was moved around this last year was kind of, in my opinion, it was kind of misleading. I mean, they took money out of the detail to pay for the cruiser, even though we had the full amount in the cruiser in the morning. And they did that to do the repairs at the PD, and I understand they got to try to jungle money, but it's misleading because that maintenance or that details fund was presented to the town the same way that the apparatus and equipments fund works for the fire department. I mean, that's the way it was presented to us. And so,
Right, and it
if we
has
put
not
a
made-
warrant article forward with money for a purchase of a cruiser,
Well, wasn't the cruiser right in the budget this
no,
last
it
year?
was in a warrant article, I believe, wasn't it?
No, not this year. It was
Not this
right in the
year?
budget. It was right in the budget. And
We
which
got-
was misleading because in years past it had been
Yeah,
a
then
warrant
that's what it
article,
was.
and then this year it was not.
But there was still, the money was taken out of the detail fund to pay towards the cruiser.
Right.
And then that money's been shifted within the budget. And, you know, it's, I don't know, maybe we do need an SUV, maybe we don't. I think with the scenario we've got going with our cruisers, I just see us hitting a cliff here. See, all the cruisers are gonna hit the same. That was a scare that I had when they leased 3 cruisers. Because you get everything you want up front and then you don't have it at the end.
Yeah.
Can we take one off the road for a period of time
I don't know what good that does you, John, really.
What will it do?
until the other ones start catching up?
What, take the new one off the road?
Can only be, yeah, they're only driven, well, you have the other 4 or something that aren't getting used.
The 04?
No, you've got 4 that only had 14,000 miles put on them.
Yeah, the
Total?
first 4, I just don't, I don't know the cruisers, I'm just
Well,
looking
they
at the
have
numbers in front of us
14,000
here.
miles on them, but they're the high mileage ones because they're the 04 and the 03. That doesn't mean that they only have 14,000 miles on them. The least
Well, they
run...
were only put, we put a total of
Oh, yeah, I didn't-
14,000 miles
Right, the
in the same
03
period that
and
they...
the 04, the 03 typically goes to the SRO because that's the oldest vehicle and it stays at the school. The 04 typically goes to the prosecutor because it's only from here to court.
No, the 4 is the one that goes to school, Pat, 4A, I believe. I think that's I think 4B is a detective's car. I think that's the one they painted white. And
We have a
03 is
4A
the
and a
detective.
4B.
Yeah, but 4B, I think, is that white detective's car we have that was painted. And I think
But we
that's,
have a prosecutor also that takes a car.
he takes 05. Yeah.
That's why you have a low mileage on those, because he's there every day.
And I mean,
The
I had
others
asked
are
the
out.
chief when he was in about details. And a week later, Fairpoint was on West Main Street. 6B was the cruiser. It says right on the front fender. Came right in front of where I work. There it goes. 6B is the one that's escorting them. Has a detail car. And the chief said, no, they didn't use that was one of the front line, the cars that they were rotating in through the... Yeah, it was 6B. That's what was being used. It wasn't a 4, it wasn't a 5, it wasn't a 3. So, I mean, it's not rocket science to know what they're using for cars. It's right on the front fender.
Well, hopefully the chief will be able to present us with a
rationale.
viable solution to this. But basically, we're going to have cars going down and the cost to the town to get them.
Well, I think his maintenance line's, showing showing what's happened, I mean, with the fleet. I think Jane stated that. Look at his maintenance line, it's way over, and that's because of the, number of mileage they're putting on, but also the age of the fleet. All those cars are getting up to where they got 100,000 miles on them now.
If you're going to, depending on how you drive a car, you're going to get worse mileage, so if it's
If it's being beat up,
beat up, it's going to be...
But I guess what I'm asking is, I'd
Using
like
more
to see in the
gas.
detail, I'd like to see what we, for a comparison from 2010 to 2011, the number of gallons that we've actually used through the PD. Not necessarily just dollars, but gallons also.
Can we go back to 2009, and just doing that?
We could get
I'd
some
like
kind
to
of a
get
history on
more
it.
than...
Yeah, it's got to exist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's got to exist. You just know what you pay.
okay, so you're looking for just overall?
Well, he did this comparison that Tim brought up to us, just this right here,
This thing right here.
dollar figures. And I think it'd be nice to have that same comparison with the gallons of fuel. Just so we could look at it.
Would that be something that Tim could,
Well, if the chief provides it, Tim can present it to us, yes. We'll have to get it from the chief.
can we check with him, just to see if we could provide that information for the budget?
On the slips when they...
Yeah.
I made a note.
Northfield
Thank
puts
you.
it on the slips when they send them over. They have how much, what you're paying.
Right, well,
for
he's
the
put them in
gallon,
the
how many
detail.
gallons.
Here, he's put in the number of
Yes,
gallons.
that's exactly what they said.
But it's just that it can be a lot of work for him
Yeah.
to go through at each one, because it might end up being that he has to go through each one of those. I mean, so we're talking about, hitting, I know it doesn't necessarily sound like a lot of work, but to dig through your files and pull out.
Well, he must have those
Right.
bills.
I'm just saying
Request
it's
this
not
of
going to be
Tim.
a...
I'm going to request this of the chief to
Yeah.
get the information.
I think it's the chief that needs to provide it. I'm
It's not
not
gonna be
saying
from
Tim.
Tim.
Okay, 'cause I'm just,
He's got
I do
enough
this
on his
type
shoulders right
of
now
work,
during
so
the-
it's,
right.
that's what I'm saying. To
Yeah.
to dig this
I
type of
think-
stuff
No, I
out
think-
would be a lot.
I think
for-
I agree with Pat 100%, that it's the chief that needs to provide this. He's the one that came in front of us and said he thought his
Yeah.
fuel line was going to be all...
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that, digging up this type of information from receipts and invoices can be a little bit,
Now, do we
it's
buy-
definitely time consuming.
Do we buy gas anywhere else? I did see them getting gas at the Irving. Do they charge gas there, or?
Somebody bought gas traveling last month.
He went to FBI.
Yeah, I brought
There was somebody getting gas in one of the
on that
cruisers
card, that Halifax...
2 weeks ago at the Irving station.
Omaha Steaks card, I keep calling.
He was at the
Omaha
pumps.
Bank, that's everything I can remember.
Yeah.
You know who it was?
I just saw the police car.
That
Yeah, he
there
was
was a
upside
police
down.
car there because they were doing a fundraiser for Special New Hampshire Olympics.
Oh, that was 1 month ago or something? This is
This is
just
at
the
the
last
pump.
2 weeks ago. Somebody was at the pump getting gas. I didn't know.
You sure it was the Tilton Police?
Pretty sure. I mean,
That would be
All right,
good.
well, it would be on a charge card, right?
The answer to that question is they're not supposed to. They're supposed to be buying it from the North.
But it would show up on a charge card anyway, so I didn't see any.
Well, I mean, wouldn't a vendor report give you that information? You separate out expenditures by vendor. and then-
Well, you would know what the dollar amount was, but you wouldn't know necessarily what the gallons were.
Oh, okay.
The only other question I had, Tony, is on the 61 Business Park Drive, the last couple months, I noticed we've had natural gas bills over $100 for heat. Why do we have so high? And this time, I see it's just, there's no natural gas here at all this time, but there's public service of $186. What's running up there that's taking the heat? Is the heat on in that building?
He'd set it 50.
But it wouldn't be coming on in the summer, would it? So why we have natural gas bills?
There was a problem right now, there was a problem existing up there that we just found out about it with the air conditioning compressor kicked on, and there was, I'll better explain it, the compression actually froze, there was ice around it, and so it was acting like it was always on. And we caught that because we went up and put locks on the breakers. MMRS still is in agreement with us and leases a space from us, they need a certain portion of the building, but not all the building, so they turn certain breakers on. The rest of the breakers are on lock so that they can't be turned on. When the electrician went up, we had the airworks go. He noticed that there was a broken thermostat, two broken thermostats, and the air conditioner was all frozen over. They fixed the two thermostats, so that could have been an issue.
That just runs off electricity though, right?
Right.
But what would cause the natural gas bill to be like that?
The air conditioning runs all the time at real cold,
you
makes
kick
it
the heat
into a
on?
refrigerator, and the heat kicks on.
It got below 50?
It ran all the time.
I'm sorry, but I still,
Thermostat is broken.
but it got below 50? I mean, that's very cold for a building in the summer.
The thermostat, that doesn't have to get all that cold, just near the thermostat.
If it has an outlet, if it has a cold air duct by the thermostat,
Yeah, I
and blows
suppose
cold
so.
air down.
I suppose,
The
but
building might not be.
it's a big open building, right?
Might be
Not only that,
95.
but the thermostat is right near the air conditioner.
Well, can I suggest that somebody move it? No, I get that, but still, 50 is very cold in the
But I
summer.
just
I mean,
looking-
that's very, very cold for a big open building. It would take many hours, I mean, many days to cool something even anywhere near that.
Right, but not necessarily if it's blowing right next to the thermostat. We have that problem at work, you
If
know.
the heater
it's just-
thermostat was at the other end of the building, we wouldn't have this conversation, but it's not. It's right by the air conditioning duct.
So the compressor on the air conditioner went bad.
And there's probably one in that office up there too, and if the air conditioner's probably pounding in that office too.
Right,
The
so
office,
unless the
small
heat
space.
is totally off.
Right.
So the heat wasn't totally
Now.
off.
It's taken
Okay.
care of now.
That's-
All right. Now, Pat, in regards to that outfit that we leased to, you mentioned that they need electricity? Do they have something plugged in, or? is
Yes,
it-
they have a couple of things that are plugged in. They have emergency equipment that's plugged in. It's charging.
And what's the electricity use on that, do we know?
No, it's radios, you know, they're not large pieces of equipment at all. It's not like the...
I just, when I looked
Charging
through it,
units.
I couldn't figure out why the natural gas bill, why we had a heat bill, and I couldn't figure out why we had 180 or so on for electricity. It just didn't make any sense to me. Building that was sitting there idle, especially in the summer. But that makes perfect sense if you have an air conditioning unit pounding against the heat.
We had faulty thermostats and then...
We just have an MRS, the Tilton Budget Center uses a portion of the office. We have a trailer that is an evidence trailer that's up there that we have large items that are evidence stored in there. The fire department has a trailer that's stored in there only for the winter, and then we lease the rest of it to Municipal Marine. Kind of balances out the electricity and heat and gas utility bills.
So we're buying more stuff for the expedition, too?
We didn't buy more stuff,
Office supplies, $125.99, $272.
Isn't that what
for
they
a
just, isn't that what he
Is that
just transferred?
printer. Is it the transfer?
I don't know. What line is it?
Another security
Equipment
system.
purchase, 660?
300.
Yeah, 660, equipment purchases. So that was what was transferred. I don't know why.
I think that was additional equipment going into the SUV.
Because it's office supplies and equipment, that's another one, because I was looking at the previous month, we've got another $384 for office supplies. You got $999 for video system previous month, and this month there's another security system, another $198.
Yeah. See, if you look under office supplies, 300 minus 125, office supplies for expedition, 270, 240, office supplies, printer for expedition. Those amounts were a negative under 300, and they're positives under the 660. So those are the two items that they moved them.
That's how they recharged them.
I don't know why it has a date of 9/30 on there, other than that's the date that he used to do the transfer. But the original purchase date is not noted.
Okay, so that's not the purchase date that was...
Right, we could probably go back through prior reports for the detail and find
that
it was 660.
That was it.
Wait, where did you just... Wait, went into 660. Yeah, here. Page 20, 660. Were you looking at something? That's 19. I don't know. I'm looking at...
Which one? Let's get to this one. Yeah, that's one right here.
Okay. So these are the transfers. There's still $10,000 in there because the full price of the cruiser didn't come out of equipment purchases, it came out of the revolving fund. Do we have any money in the revolving fund at this point? Or is it all gone?
It was a negative last month, but it's a positive this month.
Ooh, $1,900. We're gonna be able to buy a lot of stuff with that. How are we doing with the retirement accounts? Well, they were trying to pass through today the House was trying to pass it, the change, so that the towns got money back from...
That'll happen.
Well...
We won't hold our breath.
No, you shouldn't hold your breath. The Senate isn't planning on coming back anytime soon, and I'm not sure how the governor...
How are we doing with the Grange Pat? I see there's an expense. What do we have, 20,000 in that warrant article?
Yep.
Was it 20? And we've expended that now? That was 19 something, some change?
Yes.
Just under 20?
Yep.
And what is the status of the Grange, I guess I would ask?
It's coming along great. We have the kitchen created 2 bathrooms, one into a handicap bathroom. That's the one that had a lot of water damage. The existing bathrooms is where we found the water damage. We created 2 unisex bathrooms, one non-handicap, one handicap. And then, so that had to be re-roofed and redone. There's a brand new heating system. Franklin Savings Bank gave us $5,000 towards the upgrading to the air conditioning, central air, as a grant. And then we have, the kitchen is all been rewired. Mango Security has been in. It's been the plumbing, all of the plumbing. The Gerber Group, Granite Group has donated a handicapped toilet and wall-hung sink. And then we had, what was it?
The
fundraiser. We raised $2,600 in the fundraiser. We've had, we have a grant we're waiting on. It looks like it's going to happen on November 2nd, and that will finish it out. The kitchen is all sheetrocked, and it will be painted next week. The bathroom will be completed by next week, hooked up to the water. The stove will be hooked up. The doors are all widened, handicap accessible. What's left that needs to be done is the door in the kitchen needs to be widened, and a ramp at the exit entrance. A floor and some cabinets.
And the issue in regards to land, because I watched something, or I think I watched the selectmen's meeting where you were discussing about an issue with the land with some surveyor or something?
Yes, John Bernard approached us to try to get a right-of-way access to the back from his property. He owns the big building next to us, New Hampshire Mentors and Awakening Chiropractor. So he originally came to us with the diagram. I don't know if I have my folder with me or not.
Develop that whole piece.
And, right, he wanted to come in and, so here's the Grange, and here's our outbuilding. There's John's. Well, he wanted to come in, and here's the sewer right here, and make a road here because he purchased all this road. In turn for right-of-way access, he would give us a 40 by 80 piece here for us to park for our seniors, because he owns, you can see here. And then what he would like us to do is stay off this. We said we'd much rather get it surveyed before we did anything, because when we were out there the day that the day that Yerkes was out there doing this survey here, we noticed this is the end of his pavement right here, and if you notice, we own a lot more than what's on the pavement. And there's that drain, where we own a lot more. Here's the retaining wall, And this is where our pin is out here, and he's been telling us forever it's right here. So what he would like us to do is stay away from here and put our seniors here and park and come in here, so he can better utilize this area and then come out here and go in here. We had suggested, if you own this, come in this way because you have a driveway cut. Come in this way, and then you've got it, and you don't even need that. But he doesn't want to do that. So at that point, we just said, come in with an engineered plan, and we'll talk about it with the selectmen. But now that he knows that we have this plan, what we would like, we have a donation that's going to pave this front here for us. And then there's only a small spot here that's not paved. So the selectmen haven't made a decision one way or another. If he comes through...
You said the sewer is here?
The sewer's right there, which is about, 15 to 20 feet from the corner of the building. If you have cars coming across there, it's going to just all be dust. Well, I'll fix it with gravel road. Well, I mean, crushed rock. That's not really going to solve the problem, but why not just a footpath? Park here and a footpath over.
Well, that's not a leach field, though, that's sewer.
No, it's
All right.
the
I thought that was
town's-
a leach field. I thought
it's
you were
the
a leach field at
town's
first.
sewer. No, it's town.
I was going to say, you wouldn't want them driving on your leach field.
No, it comes from the
Okay.
lot near over here. So that's where we're at with the Grange. So we got a lot more for, with the insurance monies and a couple of grants, and I know I'm missing a grant. We made that $20,000 stretch to a lot further than what we anticipated. And
So with luck, we won't be having serving Thanksgiving at the Grange this year.
so hopefully by Thanksgiving, it will be opened officially as a senior center.
Now, are you going to be able to serve food there?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
You got to get certified, or do you have to have, you're on Lockmere's
Would be a
water?
commercial kitchen.
Or on your well?
We're on a well.
Are you going to have that tested? Mm-hmm. Yeah? On a regular basis?
Yeah.
Now, do you have to get certified to serve food?
Yes.
You do. So you have to be inspected
You
there,
have
just
to
like
be a
any
kitchen
kitchen?
industrial, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions in regards to the finance portion of? Okay.
Must be about Pine Street Bridge.
We already talked about it before the meeting.
Just hit a big,
We've already discussed it in detail.
everybody's driven across it.
At
Couple
least
times.
once. We've had
Figured we'd go
six.
around
again.
again.
Should put a toll on that now. Everybody wants to try it out.
Yeah, put a toll, we
Pay
make some
for
big
it.
bucks.
But we didn't have paying any more money though, right? On that? Huh? No.
We actually saved it. We shortened up some guardrails and, I don't know if we come out ahead, but we did it.
Excellent.
We still need to-
Time-wise?
We still
You
need
want-
to do the
time-wise.
plantings, though, for
Not
Mrs.
time-wise, no.
Gambatti.
Not time-wise.
I'm sorry,
You
Pat,
guys
what
put a
was
lot of
that?
hours in
We
there.
still need to do the plantings for Mrs. Gambatti,
Yes.
and that would be next week.
So that's going to happen this fall?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're actually away this week, so they can't happen this week, but it'll be the next week. We've got it all scheduled.
Good. One more thing, under other business, is the last topic. Tomorrow is the Winnisquam River Trail Association's Taste of the Trails at Riverfront Park there.
Riverfront Place.
There are still tickets available, to my understanding. They can get them at the fire department and such. I have my tickets right here. I don't know if I'll be
Very
able...
few tickets available.
Yeah,
I
so,
had to make calls all over town to get 2 more today. They're going.
Polly's, I know, was all sold out.
Good. Good.
That's a good thing. I hope they sell everyone.
So, if anybody has inclination to join in the fun and festivities, please, if you need tickets, I have two. I don't know if I'll be able to go, but I have my tickets. Okay?
See, Joe, could have got 2 tickets right here.
I bought 2 from Joyce downstairs just before I came up here.
You should have come up here first and talked to Tony.
I didn't have them yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Joanna?
I'd also
Aren't
like
those
to let
attractive
everybody know
tickets?
that the Vicky Virgin Food Drive is going to take place on Saturday. Various locations, donate food. You can donate it here also as well, so.
And I have an opportunity for anybody who would like to either be at Shaw's Market Basket or BJ's to help out with the collection. We're going to be located at those 3 spots, and we need representatives outside at the entrance and at the exit to make sure that people know about it, know what Vicky Virgin was all about and what the food bank's all about, and get them to get contributions. So anybody who has an extra hour on Saturday between 9 and 2, please see me after we adjourn, and I'm sure I can slide you into an appropriate place.
And if you don't have the extra hour, if you could just buy a couple of cans, drop them in, that would be greatly appreciated.
Now, is there going to be any place for those of us who will be out of
Yes,
town
there-
on Saturday that you can drop things after the
There are
fact?
5 locations all week long.
Okay.
Ollie's Restaurant, Bryant and Lawrence, La Chance Sitco, Tilton House of Pizza, and Tilton Diner.
Excellent. Thank you.
Town hall.
In the
And town hall.
Okay.
The schools are also collecting.
We do?
Yeah, down here we have a new store. It's called The Store.
The store, yeah. Your
What
cigarettes
kind
and
of
beer
store?
here.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's open yet,
No, but they got the lights on tonight when I came down here.
but have to walk in.
Yeah, they
Is
fixed
that
up
like
the building
the
a lot
farm?
nicer inside than it was.
Yep.
The store.
It is.
Just what we need, another convenience store 20 feet away from one.
I think,
Is that what it is?
It's about 20 feet away from a man
Yeah,
who,
but it's
That's what
a
they
And he
try
is-
to
convenience
put
store?
the other one out.
yeah, and he is,
Trying to undercut.
he gives us, no matter what we go to him for, he contributes. He did to Old Home Day.
Oh,
he does-
who, La Chance?
Make a motion to
Which-
adjourn?